feels better than this.
All right. What up? Hey. Hey. What's up, IG? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Let me play a white people song. Let me play a white people song. This is a white people song. This is like the famous white people song that was made by black men. Let's go. This is the white people anthem. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Y'all feel the vibes? This is gonna be good. Come on. Hey, y'all feel the vibes? Come on. It's not about what you done, it's about what you do. What y'all doing? What y'all doing? What y'all doing? What? All right. All right, all right, all right, all right. Y'all, that's like the #1 white people song that was made by a black man. Like that is a white people anthem. And knowing Mercy, she ain't even gonna like that song. She always do the opposite of what the average white people do. But I'm excited, y'all, because, man, 2 days in a row, we being fed, baby. This is like, man, this is like equal, what is this, like equal rights on my page. You know, yesterday we had my girl, Courtney Epps, bring the heat, teaching us about how we can have less taxing, more relaxing. She gave us just a clear understanding of why, you know, having a home-based business is so amazing. And I want to say thank you. She was the first white person ever to come on Candid Conversations. You better say something. You better act like you know we moving on up. And it wasn't even planned today. But, you know, Mercy is white girl #2. But let me tell y'all something. I attract the white people that's like Oreos. They white on the outside, but black on the inside. You know, they come in disguise. But no, guys, I'm excited because, you know, tonight's Candid Conversation, I think, is going to be good. I think it's going to be great. I think that if you guys really understand who I have on the line today and why I picked her to be on a Candid Conversation today, I think you'll be as excited as I am. And also nervous at the same damn time, all right? But no, we have Mercy Joy, right? Mercy Joy is my director of operations. She is the girl who has been behind the scenes for a lot of people that you guys know. She's worked behind the scenes with Natalie Nicole Smith, our brand new ambassador, going executive ambassador, all right? She's worked with her for several years. As a matter of fact, many of you all don't know this, but I met Mercy through Natalie, all right? And so always grateful for that introduction. Mercy has also worked hand in hand and side by side with LaQuelle. And so you guys are going to be able to get a little bit of that information. She's also very, very heavy in the church. Y'all may not know that, but y'all are going to learn, I don't know, maybe a lot today, maybe not a lot today. But the reason why I wanted her to come on here is because a lot of you all are destined to be legends, okay? You are destined to make a huge contribution in your family, in your field. And a lot of people don't know what it takes to be a champion. You know, the character of a champion, like your thought process, the way you got to move, the way you got to be. And so I'm excited to have her on because for the first time ever, you guys are going to be able to hear a little bit more about me from someone that's on the outside. When I say outside, you know, I always tell y'all from my perspective who I am and what I do and how I tick. And it's important that you know because, you know, the things that you're going to hear today from this awesome young lady can possibly bless you. Because she's so serious and has so much integrity, she's going to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. And so y'all get y'all questions ready because I don't know what to ask for real because I got to be careful not to get implicated. So I ain't just going to ask her anything. And so if you all have questions, you know, feel free to put them in the question box while we wait on Mercy to come on. But I'm excited because, you know, when I was, just started my entrepreneurial journey and I had a coach and a mentor, I always wanted to know behind the scenes, like, who are they? Like, are these people like machines? Do their feelings get hurt? Do they ever have family problems? Do they ever cry? Do they ever get emotional? Like, because, you know, when you look at a leader oftentimes, Mercy, accept the request. A leader oftentimes seems like perfect. Like, they seem like they have no problem. They just seem like perfect beings. I'm requesting you now, Mercy, accept it. They just seem perfect. And so I think that being able, hey, can you hear
Hey.
me?
Yeah, I
What
can.
up? What up? First of all, I ain't seen you in a long time. Wow.
I know.
Dang,
Forever.
you look different. You cut your hair?
Nope. It's all here.
You changed your style. You curled
This
it
might be
like
the first time.
curls. So we're excited to have you. I don't know if you know why I requested that you come on. It had nothing to do with you being the second white person on the call, okay? Anyway, you know me
White
better than that.
chocolate week.
Yes, exactly. You wouldn't even think that anyway. But I brought you on because a lot of people think that I'm just like this perfect being that doesn't have challenges, that doesn't have problems. And not just that. I'm going to turn the comments off. I think that being able to understand more of who I am from your perspective, I think will help a lot of people. And not just me.
Yeah.
You work with me, Natalie, LaQuelle, and you're like really tucked away in the corner, but you see so much. And I wanted you to come on because they need to know like the character of a champion. Like what do you notice, you know, is a common thread amongst all of these people? Because you have access to a lot of highly spiritual individuals in the church, and you're way bigger and much and so much, let me see, you're so big and have so much connections to amazing people that speaks volumes to you. So before we get there, let me tell everybody a little bit about who you are, because they're trying to figure out why. Some people trying to figure out why is this white lady on my live. You know, a lot of people don't know you.
Right.
We can't assume that everybody knows you.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about you. You know, who are you? Why are you on this live? Tell us about your upbringing. Like, why you so quiet? You're so reserved. Like, bring us up to speed about yourself, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. So I am actually from upstate New York. I grew up in a family of 8 people. I don't even know how much Coach knows about my background, but I have 5 brothers and sisters. I grew up on a farm, so my entire world was completely different from anything that I'm in right now. But it was very sheltered. It was very structured. It was very even legalistic. And it was good, though. I had really, really great parents. They're still married. They're still living in the country. But they raised me until I was 18 years old. And then they were pretty much like, okay, you're on your own. And it was up to me to go off and figure out the world. So I actually moved around a lot. I went to Memphis for music school for 2 years. Then I moved to Atlanta and lived there for 4 years between there and Miami. And then I ended up in Miami. Atlanta is when I met Natalie. If you guys were on the Candid conversation with LaQuelle and she talked about the fragrance in Macy's, that was where we all connected. So I worked in Macy's selling the fragrance for 9 or 10 years. And that was actually one of the things that really taught me how to step outside of myself and really choose to become the person that I wanted to become. Because I hated sales. It was nothing I ever wanted to do in my life. But I was a commission-based job. And so in order to survive, I had to figure out a way to make it work. So I really had to choose to step outside of myself and be a different person than I had ever been before to learn how to survive in that. And going from Memphis to Atlanta to Miami, it also helped me to understand a whole bunch of different cultures that I had never been a part of before, which I absolutely loved. Atlanta is one of my favorite places in the world, so shout out to A-Town. For the diversity, I just loved experiencing the new people and the new things and learning how to see things from someone else's perspective.
Right.
And I always say that every single period of my life has been preparation for the next period. And I can see so clearly how every single one of those experiences prepared me for meeting you and meeting Natalie, and meeting Natalie prepared me for meeting you.
Right.
In so many ways. And so yeah, I'm grateful for all of those experiences.
Wow. So here you are. What do you mind sharing your age?
34.
You're 34 now?
Yeah.
Then I thought you was 32 still. So here you are, 34 years old. You work with one of the most, I don't know what to say about myself. I don't even know what to say about myself. You work with me. You've been working with me now. You're the longest standing person that what I would consider an employee ever in my entire career of being an entrepreneur. You have lasted longer than anybody. But before we get there, take me back a little bit to working at Macy's, because you're still in sales. I don't think you really realize you're still in sales,
Right.
but you're in a different type of
Yeah.
sales. So take me back a little bit to your experience at Macy's and why you didn't like working in the perfume sales.
Yeah. So I would honestly say part of it is a cultural thing, because I think that white people are known for not wanting to be sold to. So I automatically felt before I even started that anybody that I was going to talk to was not going to want what I had to offer.
Wow.
And then when I first started selling in Atlanta, whoever is from Atlanta knows Perimeter Mall, and it's one of the more bougie malls in Atlanta. And I was stuck in that mall attempting to sell a fragrance called Sexual to a bunch of people that really wanted high-end perfumes. So before the words would even come out of my mouth, they would already be walking the other direction. So I literally had to figure out a way to make it work to pay my bills. So I started turning it into a game, and I started saying, okay, I'm just going to figure out a way to say something that's going to make these people turn around and not walk the other direction. So that's where I started developing my gift of sarcasm and just joking around and just having fun with it. And just figuring out a way to make them laugh so that they would actually stop and see what I had to say, and just seeing how many people I could stop. And then it would move from there to me actually being able to talk to them about the fragrance, engage them in conversation. And through all of this, my experiences, I think one of the most important things I've learned is just to put myself in the other person's shoes. Because if you can understand what the other person is thinking and feeling in that situation, you can figure out how to create a situation where you can help them to feel or think something different, something that you want them to think, so that you can start to influence them in the direction that you need them to go.
Oh, that sounds really good, girl.
Right.
So now you're 34 years old. You've been in raised in the church. You're very serious and very, very, very religious. You're very serious about church, very spiritual. You go to church like 3-4 days a week, right? So right. So you spend a lot of time in church and the word. When did your inclination and your thirst and your hunger for church and God, where did that come from? Did you grow up in a family with people that everybody went to church, and did your mom and dad and all of that?
Yeah, that was definitely a huge part of my upbringing. So I was born on a Sunday, and my mom called the church to let them know that I had been born. So that's how far back that goes. And
Wow.
I was homeschooled my whole life. So I went to this thing called missionettes, which is like Christian Girl Scouts. So you got badges for memorizing Bible verses. So I was thoroughly immersed in that life. And I always wanted to, I met God when I was really little. And so I loved my relationship with him. I always had like an ongoing dialogue with him my whole life. So that was just something that was natural to me. So I always wanted to continue to grow that my whole life, and then got more, not to get too spiritually deep, but got more an understanding of like the whole supernatural world, and just saw how much more there was to offer than just, it wasn't just about religion anymore. It was about an experience. And yeah, so it was a fun thing to pursue throughout life.
So fast forward. Okay, awesome. So now you've been working with me for how long? 3 years or 4?
It's 2016, so almost 4 years.
So you've been working with me for almost 4 years. How does a clean, wholesome Christian girl work for Stormy Wellington? How do you survive with her foul mouth and her crazy ways? Like, that just seems like opposite. How did you get the job with me? Like, can you take us back to when you first started working with me? and then we'll fast forward to allowing people to ask questions, because we got a lot of questions in here, girl.
So I'll say this really fast. I mentioned that my family was very legalistic, and I really appreciate my parents' upbringing because it taught me solid foundations that you can build your life on. And like you always talk about principles, my parents were principle people. So they really taught me principles of character and quality and integrity. And I really appreciate that. But because of my personality, it taught me to become very perfectionistic. And so I never wanted to make any mistakes. And I was always afraid of making mistakes and wanted everything to be perfect. And I had to learn later on through some very dear friends of mine, my pastors in New York, that are like my second parents. But they really taught me that the relationship with God is about love, is about his love, and that when you understand his love is unconditional and it's not based on what you do, there's freedom in that. And so I learned through that relationships with people are not about what you think is right or wrong about what they're doing there. It's about love, and unconditional love fixes everything. So whether I agree with you all the time or not, I see who you are past all of that. And I see what you do for people. And I see your just your identity of who God has created you to be, that touches people's hearts and changes who they are, and gives them opportunities to be great in life. And it's just amazing to see. And that's what I see when I look at you. So if that makes sense.
So when you first started working with me, though, you didn't know all of that from the outside looking in.
Well, when I first started working with you, I had been introduced to TLC 1 or 2 years before that. I signed up for TLC in 2015. So Natalie had told us about you long before I started working with you. So I had been watching you, I had been posting you, I had been following you. So I had already seen who you were.
Wow. So, okay. So we have an interview. Do you remember our interview process? Do you remember how that went?
I remember that Reggie was looking for someone to help you. I remember that we came over to the house, and I don't know if I call it an interview process. I just remember a blur, and you needing people to help you with things, and me starting looking through your emails and addressing them and doing whatever that I could to save you from the things that you are not good at and were not called to do.
Wow. So, okay. So you've been with me for 4 years, though. Like, so these people are on here not to hear from me. They want to learn from you, because it's not easy working with me. So give us, like, talk about, like bring us up to speed. Give us some information. Like, I don't even know what to ask. As a matter of fact, you say what you're gonna say, and I'm gonna let them do the questions, because y'all put y'all questions, because I think this is great. Can you imagine, interviewing Oprah's operations director? Can you imagine, interviewing Tony Robbins, operation director? I mean, can you imagine interviewing Jack Fallon and Jeff Bezos? So you get to know who they are. Like, that's so dope. So that's why I wanted you to be here. So I don't know what to ask you. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I don't know what to say. So you got Boss Lady, you got LaQuilla, everybody on here. I see a girl with the who workout gear I be wearing. What is it? Robo Designs. She's on here. Yeah. So tell me, like, what is it like? How do you manage? How do you do it?
It's like a few years ago, I felt like God told me that my purpose in life was to help other people fulfill their purpose in life. And so everyone their whole lives, I think, is searching for fulfillment. And a lot of people never find it. So for me to realize that I can get from fulfillment from helping someone else to be the best that they can be is all that you could ask for. So me, when I'm around you and I recognize that the things that you're not good at are the things that I'm great at, and if I can do them, it like helps to complete your whole package. And that's what
what am I not good at? Tell them, I don't care. What am I not good at?
So what you are good at is activating people, visionary, self-development, and then helping other people to self-develop. Like, you're just very big and bold, and you move and you get ideas and you go with them. What you're not good at is the details. All of the small things that make the machine run, those are not what you do. So you don't read your emails. You don't pay your bills. You don't like.
I'll pay my bills.
No.
I don't read my emails.
Nah, unless I send them to you.
You have to text them to me.
Yeah. and I it depends. Like, I have to be careful, because if I screenshot and send it to you, if it doesn't load, you still don't see it. So sometimes I'll screenshot it and send it to you, and copy and paste it and send it to you, and see which one you read. And if you don't respond to either of those, I just have to keep sending it.
Why would not? So what are some of the things that you notice about me that you think that good or bad? Like, you know, I have complete transparency. What would you like to share with these people, like good or bad, about what you observed and what you noticed about me?
Well, I think that I tend to be very protective of you, because I find that sometimes your greatest strength can also be your greatest weakness. So one thing that you're really, really good at is recognizing an opportunity and going after it instantly. And that's a way that you've been able to become really great in a lot of areas, because you are not afraid to go after something that you see and go after it right now and take big, bold steps. But I get concerned about you not thinking it through all the way, or not seeing some of the potential hazards and hangups. So those are the things that I have to do to the best of my ability to present, just to make sure that we are covering all of our bases as we're moving forward. And then also sometimes we move forward so fast that we don't even have time to take care of the details. So that's something that is I consider my responsibility, to make sure that all of that stuff gets handled and all of the loose ends get tied up before we move so far past them that they get lost.
Wow. So I'll just do stuff and don't know what I'm doing, and I'll just do it.
Yeah, but it's not that. Yes, you don't know what you're doing, but you see the end result in mind. So you see what can come out of it if all goes as planned. I just have to make sure that all does go as planned. Wow.
So what would you say about my work habits? What about my yeah, what do you say about my work habits, my work ethics?
Your work ethic is insane. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that you don't ever let up. And the people that are around you have to make sure that you do take breaks and that you do stop sometimes to do what you need to do. I was very grateful for you having this quarantine time to rediscover that it can be, it's okay, and it can be fun to relax, and it can show you, you know, a different side of yourself. I was grateful for kind of forcing you to slow down and make sure that your heart rate stays where it's supposed to be, and all of that good stuff. But yeah, your work ethic is insane. You feel a great responsibility for the people that are relying on you, and not just people that are relying on you financially or your family, but the people that are relying on you for you to go on Instagram Live, the people that are relying on you to post something inspirational. Like, you really, really take that seriously, and you're always thinking about them, and you're always thinking, like, I have to do more for these people to help them to have the same chances and opportunities that I have, because I came out of nothing and I became something, and I have to keep showing them how they can do the same thing.
Also, what would you say about my family dynamic? You see my family, how I am with my dad, my kids. Like, what would you say about that side of me?
It's amazing. It goes through seasons as well. So you definitely always make sure that everyone's taken care of, and they all absolutely love you to death and would do absolutely anything for you. And I love that as time goes on, each person finds their role and fills it. And I think that that's developed a lot over the last few years, of just people figuring out, this is what I do for the family, and this is how I contribute, and everyone playing their part and making sure that they do what needs to be done. It's been awesome to see how everybody's grown over the last few years, because it was a very different dynamic when I first came around. There's been a whole ton of growth and a whole ton of things that everyone has been through together that's just made the bond stronger, and yeah, it's amazing.
Based upon what you know about me, you think it's gonna be hard for me to have a personal life, like a intimate relationship with somebody of the opposite sex? Do you see that happening or no? What do you feel about it? Because a lot of people ask me, like, why am I single? Like, how do you feel knowing me? What do you feel about a personal relationship with me and somebody? What you know about me?
I just think that, yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge, but I think it has to be someone who's on the same track as you're on, so that you guys can run together, because it would never, I don't see it really working for you to have completely separate lives and completely separate lifestyles, because you don't have enough time to give to being involved in someone's life that has a completely separate lifestyle from you, because your lifestyle is all encompassing and requires all of your time. So to me, I would think it would have to be someone who's able to run with you, have their own goals, of course, have their own everything, but be able to run together and work together and move together on goals and dreams.
So it's talking about goals and dreams. How do you feel about how we set goals and standards and milestones? And like you've been around for the launch of Girl Hold My Hand. You've been around for the launch of Well CBD. You've seen TLC when I think I was making maybe 20,000 a week when you started, to now where we are. What would you say about this entire shift? And let's start with TLC, because you was there when I felt like quitting, when this company was driving me crazy. And for like 2 years, I was like, no TLC. It was Girl Hold My Hand and spiritual elevation for me and growth. And I went to Amsterdam and Cambodia, and I went to Africa. And like, what would you say about that season when I just was like, not even TLC at all, versus where we are now? Like, what? Because that's a big deal. You were there from the entire transition to the point where now, you know, you even send my checks and you be like, wow. So how does that feel to see that? Like, what would you say created that?
Man, that was so awesome watching all of that evolve with TLC. Because yeah, you definitely went through a season where it was like the right people were not coming around, and the people that were around were very disillusioning, and just so many different things were happening. But it's like, you're never going to let anything stop you from moving forward. So even though you couldn't move forward in TLC, you found a different way to move forward. And as you kept moving forward, then when it was the right time, the doors opened, which is so awesome. So you constantly are pushing through open doors until the right doors open. So during that season, you did a whole ton of self-development. You traveled the world. You got to see so many amazing experiences, which got to heighten your whole level of understanding of life on a whole nother level, so that when those doors open, you were a whole level higher.
Did you see me go places and come back and be like, wow, she's a different person? Did you see it like that or no?
There were definitely changes all along the way. I think you're always becoming a different person. We all know that. You're always reinventing. There was a lot of reinventing going on during that time, which was awesome to see. But it was like you did, during that time, you did that month of meditating in July. You did all of these different things that showed your growth, that were helping other people to grow. But it was constantly pushing to see, okay, where's going to be the next vein? Where's going to be the next stream? Where am I going to go next? And as you kept pushing, the people that were around you that were supposed to keep elevating did, until they were ready to meet you when it was time to come back together. The people that were around you that were not elevating at the same rate as you were able to fall away. You were able to clear all of that out so that you were ready when everything came into position.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to say some words, and I just want you to describe what those words mean till you think about me. And then I'm going to let people ask these questions, because we have a lot of questions in the Q&A. So patience. When you think about the word patience and me, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Quick, patience.
You go back and forth with patience. It's funny. You make a decision to be patient and you're patient. I don't think it's natural to you.
What about loyalty?
You're very loyal. You are loyal to a fault. You won't let people go that you should let go sometimes.
What about friendships?
Friendships are important, but friendships are not always what they appear to be. So you are careful with friendships and you will let them go.
I would let them go.
Yeah, like loyalty and friendship are two different things. Friendships that are not contributing to your life, you're gonna let them go, but you're gonna come back around later on and see if they're ready to meet you where you're at.
Right. So I kind of like cut the person off, cut the relationship off, and I always check back in with them later on to see if they've learned a little lesson and they elevated a little bit from where they were when I left them.
You throw out an olive branch.
I always go back to them, huh?
Yep.
I know. What you be saying? She's so stupid.
No, because I understand. Remember, my thing is to understand the other person's perspective. So I understand because you really love them and you want the best for them. But sometimes you want more for someone than they want for themselves. So that's why you have to let them go. But you're always going to hope that eventually they're going to want for you what you want for them.
So what about my business? Seeing the team dynamic and you seeing the things I've experienced with people that was on my team, you know, the people that we bonded and we had dinners together. They cooked at my house. They, you know, slept in my bed. Like to see that and to see that everything is like now for naught. How do you internalize even network marketing, seeing the amount of women and people that came through my life and now it's for naught? We don't have anything. How does that affect you and how does that make you look at just maybe network marketing? And I want you to be transparent on that one because I know you've seen a lot and you've seen a lot of things, and to still have to remain in a neutral spot in terms of, okay, even if I go back to the person or I don't talk to the person, like that's deep to be able to see things and to see me experience things and then see how I handle it either as business or I cut it off. Like how do you internalize that? And I said a lot, but you get my point.
Yeah, no, network marketing is definitely interesting. I've had a love-hate relationship with it from the beginning, especially watching everything that you go through. And I think what you come to understand in network marketing is that this is what's going to happen. Things are going to happen. There's going to be betrayal. There's going to be drama. There's going to be things that there's going to be people that said they were always going to be there for you that are not going to be there for you. And it's like you grow this thick skin that has the ability. This is what's amazing about leaders like you, is that a really, really great leader has the ability to be able to give someone an opportunity knowing that they may stab you in the back and that they may betray you, but they may come out being a Meek or a Natalie or one of those amazing stories. So it's like, and even you and Natalie, a lot of times you guys didn't think your relationship was going to work out. But you always came back around. You always ended up believing in each other, choosing to fight it out again. And those are the numbers that you run through to get to the people that are real, to get to the results that are real, to get to what you were looking for the whole time. But it's like understanding from the beginning that it's a numbers game and that you're going to go through all of the bad apples to get that one, hopefully, or maybe more than one good apple.
So love. When it comes to love and me, what's the first thing come to your mind?
You have a huge heart. You have a huge heart, and it's definitely been broken many times because of that. But you have a huge heart. Period.
What about personal development and just being emerged and growing? What would you say when you think about me and personal development?
It's constant with you. You're always looking for ways to personally develop. I think it's become automatic for you that if you don't like something that's going on in your mind or in your surroundings or whatever, you're gonna find a solution. And so there's always a way through personal development to find that solution, to be able to not, not ever able to not, not ever have to feel that way again, not ever have to go through that experience again. If I can just.
Let's see. Somebody says, how do you, oh, same thing. All right, let's see. Did you see growth in Coach third the Tony? Did you see growth in Coach third the Tony Robbins event? That's not a question. Slow down, sis, or brother. Somebody said, "Hey, Coach, what is Mercy's zodiac sign?"
Libra.
Libra. Boom. All right, hold on. The girl ain't never get as many questions. Somebody says, I have so much respect for the way you reinvent yourself and come back bigger and better every time. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody says, did you have to learn to celebrate others? I definitely did. Did you have to learn that?
I guess, but probably before. I think always being in behind the scenes, it's learning to celebrate others always, and understanding that the people that appreciating what the people that you are supporting are accomplishing.
All right. People said they knew you was a Libra because Libra brings balance. Somebody said, Mercy, how did you deal with situation when Coach was mad, or if she was mad at you?
I don't like when Coach is mad at me. That whole thing with the perfectionism and never wanting to make a mistake. There's this personality test some of y'all have heard of, the Enneagram. So my number on the Enneagram, when I make a mistake, I already beat myself up so much that by the time Coach shoots mad at me, it feels like I'm getting whipped twice. So that is something that I have had to definitely take a step back and calm myself down. There's been times I've definitely had to apologize for coming back at her when she's been mad at me, because I don't like it, but it always works out.
All right. Good. All right. Somebody says, Mercy, what's the most important thing you learned from Coach? That's a great question.
That is a great question. I think I was just thinking about this today. One of the best things that I've learned from you is learning to not have expectation from people, but to understand what it is that they're great at and appreciate it. And I don't know if I'm saying that the right way, but just watching you learn how to do that and choose to do that over and over and over, it brings so much peace to your life when you can understand that, a lot of times we'll look at someone and be like, man, I wish they were just like this, or I wish they would just do this, but it's not who they are. It might be who they become later, but it's not who they are right now. What is their position in your life? What are they great at? What are they supposed to be doing? Appreciate that. And if they're not what you need them to be, identify who they are and find someone else to be who you need to be in that other area.
Right.
That brings a lot of peace.
So I want to add, I think one of the most amazing things about me that I've learned about myself is my ability to pick it up and keep it moving. No matter what happens with any situation, it's like dust myself off and try again. I think I realized this today, like I'm not quitting. I'm just not. So it's like, don't even waste your time. I'm going to figure out, it could be a business, it could be a friendship, it could be a relationship. You're never going to take me out. I may stumble, but I'm not going to fall and not get up. No, I may stumble, I may trip, I may fall down for a second, but I'm going to figure out how to pull it together and I'm going to get back up. Somebody said, what are your thoughts on dealing with negative energy and negative people?
If you have to, but as much as you can. I watch Coach all the time. Just remove yourself from the situation. For me, sometimes I have to be the buffer, because I don't want that to come to her, because it doesn't help her to be great in what she needs to be great in. So sometimes I have to deal with the negative energy and whatever, but I've learned how to confront and deal with it so that it doesn't continue. You have to learn how to confront in love.
That's good. Confront and deal with it. That's good. That was a great question. Somebody said, Mercy, here are your flowers. Thank you for all the ways you support Coach. Oh, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. That was cute. That was so cute. Okay, somebody said, what do you admire the most about how Coach run her business and life? Ha ha ha. That's a good question too. That's a good question. Let me hear what you gotta say.
I think it's that like your success has come from what I was talking about earlier of not being afraid to make bold moves and to move forward. And something that we've talked about a lot over the years is that you can make a really big decision, and if it's not going right and if you don't feel good about it in your gut, you're going to change everything to get yourself out of it before it affects you adversely. And you being able to make big decisions for good or for not for bad, but either a big decision to move into something or a big decision to move right back out of it if necessary. A lot of people really struggle with that. They second guess themselves all the time and they lose out a lot. And you've been able to really, really move forward in business by being able to make those big decisions when you have to.
That was great. That was great. All right, we're gonna take 3 more questions and we're gonna go. I got a big trip that I gotta be packing my stuff for. Oh, this is our girl. He said, how does being spiritually sensitive impact how you perform your role? Wow.
Yeah,
That's good.
I think that has everything to do with how I perform my role, because it comes down to identity. If I didn't know who I was, I could be affected by the things that go on around Coach all the time. I could be feeling like I need to be more recognized. I could be feeling like I don't like how things are going, how people are treating her. Like a lot of different things could affect me all the time. There's always intense situations going on. There's always a million things going on. There's always so much going on that could affect me if I didn't know who I am, that I'm where I'm supposed to be, that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and also have systems in place to make sure that I stay on track with what I need to do.
All right, all right, all right. So we got 2 more questions and we're gonna play our nice white people song and we're gonna be gone. Somebody says, have you and Coach ever had conflict? And if so, how did y'all deal with it?
We have.
I think our biggest to me, and this may not seem like it to you, the biggest conflict we had was to me at the Atlanta boot camp. Man, I was angry as hell.
Yeah, definitely.
That was the worst. How did you deal? So real quick, y'all. Atlanta boot camp. I'm a perfectionist, to a certain degree, and I just had expectations of certain things. And y'all didn't notice y'all that came to Atlanta boot camp, but I was so mad. My flowers on the table was like the person who brought me the flowers. I'm like, you can't love me. The board wasn't there, and when Mercy's not around, I don't blame her. But when she's around, I expect her to set the standard so everybody can know how to treat me. Because if Mercy treats me bad, or don't treat me with a level of perfection, other people are gonna think that it's okay to treat me like that. And so I was super, super like mad because my whole team was there. And if we don't set the standard, then the standard won't be set. And now people will just be doing anything. And I was so, so, so mad. And I think you knew I was real. I think was that the maddest I think that's the maddest I ever got.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think so?
Yeah, definitely. That was a rough situation. It did not go as it should have. And what happened from my perspective is that I made several bad judgment calls in that situation that I had to own up to. We've been working for the last 4 years on building a great infrastructure so that it's not just me and Coach, because we're working on moving into, she's going to be a billionaire. We're going to need a team. And we do have actually a great team now. I'm not saying it's still just me and her. There's several other people that are making us into a great team more and more every day. But as we work to build that infrastructure, I have to make decisions when I'm going to be completely hands-on and completely obsessive about every detail, and when I'm going to start to let someone else take over. And in that situation, I took my hands off when it was not ready for me to take my hands off.
Look, they told y'all had y'all game face on the whole time. Somebody told you ain't had your water on the table. You was hot. Oh my God. But the event was awesome. Y'all didn't see it, but definitely that was a very a very, very tough situation. So, guys, you all been listening to Mercy. Mercy has been with me for almost actually 4 years. She is the operations director. She does everything. I mean, everything for making sure my travels is taken care of, to making sure that we just stay on point in everything and with everything. Without her, I would definitely drop a whole lot of balls. I'm going to tell you, life would go on, but I would drop a whole lot of balls. And it would be a very stressful situation if I didn't have her, to have my back. And so I just want to tell you, thank you. Thank you for everything. A lot of people don't know how much of a role you play on helping me have peace and help me stay focused, which in essence helps them. Because if I'm not in a good place, if my mind isn't clear, then I can't do what I need to do. So everything is a domino effect. And I want to just tell you, thank you. I was listening to Bob Proctor today, and his girl been with him for 35 years. And I was just like, wow, the lady that works with him, been with him for 35 years. And I was like, man, I could just imagine me at 65, 75 years old and Mercy at 50, and we still hanging together doing our thing. But it's the truth. When you are aligned and y'all elevate together, it's like the mind elevates and everything else starts to transcend with it. And it's true. I will be a billionaire one day. I know it. It's one of the things where I'm not even going to be able to stop it. It's just going to, the money's going to flow to me like how water flows in the ocean. Nobody can stop the water and the currents of the ocean, because it's just an unstoppable force. And so that's my goal, to keep growing to mastery, which is never accomplished. I look at my kids, and I see my daughter and how much she's evolved, my son, how much he's evolved. It just makes me even more inspired to keep going. Natalie, how she's evolved, LaQuelle, everybody. And I just want to tell you, if I didn't have you, it would be very, very, very challenging. And I'm going to tell you, like, I be thinking like, damn, Mercy is not with me. Who would it be? And I'm telling you, you're going to be a hell of a person to ever be able to fill your shoes. Definitely one hell of a person to be able to fill your shoes. So before we go, any closing remarks, anything you want to say? We got almost 1,000 people on this live. A lot of people don't know you, but they know you because I just shared with them who and what you mean to me. So what do you want to say before we go ahead and close out this call tonight?
I want to say thank you. You have taught me so much over the last 4 years. We have not talked about that a lot, but I'm definitely not the same person that I was when I started with you, and just learned so much every single day. The other thing that I want to say is just, it's so important to know who you are and what your role is in life, because if there's not people like me, there can't be people like Stormy. And
wow.
You have to understand that, because you might be called to be a me and feel like you want to be a Stormy, and you could be messing up what's supposed to be happening in life because you're confused. And I've seen so many people come around Coach and think that they were going to use her to get to a similar position as her, when that was never what they were supposed to do or where they were supposed to be. And they end up falling off. They end up never fulfilling any kind of a future because they were trying to be something that they were never created to be. So it's so important to know who and what you were designed to be, and be the best that you can be, so that you can help the whole thing work how it's supposed to.
Wow, that was very amazing. So I have this nice song. I know this is not the ideal white people song, but this is the white people song. So take your future words. You got your future words?
I don't have my future words.
So I forgot to tell y'all, Mercy is also an executive. She's also an executive in TLC. As you can see, you can tell she'll be okay in the conversation. She know we end with a shot, but she got her.
My bad.
All right. Bye. Love you. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye. All right. So y'all have heard from Mercy, my right-hand girl. I hope that you really received something. I think it was great to bring her on just to get kind of a behind-the-scenes perspective on the making of a billionaire. I believe we're going to have a show one day called The Making of a Billionaire, because this journey will be televised. You hear me? And so y'all have a great night. Tomorrow, please keep in mind that our read is not going to take place at 5. We're going to be doing some traveling tomorrow. But we will be doing our read, but not at 5. And I want to say, hey guys, if you are someone that's gifted out there and you know that you have a gift, you got to have supporters to support your gift. You cannot do everything by yourself. You cannot be the maker, the baker, and the candlestick maker, baby. You got to find people, pay people. Stop being cheap. Pay somebody to check your emails. Pay somebody to book your travel. Pay somebody to handle your behind the scenes business. You got to be clear and focused and have the mental stamina to do what you do best only. And some of us are trying to have 5,000 jobs, and you cannot get the one job that you were called to do done because you being so cheap. You could start off with paying somebody $250 a week, $200 a week, $100 a week. Pay at your level. If you know that you are destined to be great, stop spending dollar time on penny projects, okay? Stop spending your dollar time on penny projects. Allocate your monies appropriately and pay somebody to do what they are to do to help further the visionary, okay? And some of you may not supposed to be the visionary. Maybe you're supposed to be the supporting cast of the visionary. And so hold tight to knowing who you are, and don't let somebody else going further faster deter you off of your mission. See, I know what I'm called to do. I'm not called to check emails. I'm not called to book a flight. I'm not called to make sure the room is booked, and I'm not called to make sure that the conference call is had and all of that stuff. Like, that ain't what I do. So you know what I do? I stay in my strength and I hide my weaknesses. I do what I do well. And guess what, y'all? I have a nice team. I have a house manager. I have a housekeeper. All right. I have a driver. I have a CFO of my other company. I have Mercy. I have my team. I have a nice team, y'all. I have like 6 people. Mercy, Trina, Nicole. I have my hairstylist, Trenton Weaver. I'm not called to be doing no hair. I'm not called. So you know what I do? I hire my weaknesses. And let me tell you, a lot of y'all may say, man, I don't have the money. I'm going to tell y'all this and I'm going to let y'all go. My driving force, one of my driving forces, is to be able to continue to make enough money that I can maintain this life that I like. I like having a driver. I like having a hairstylist. I like having Mercy. I like having a CFO. Yes, I have a chef too. He just don't come over here because it's quarantine. So the goal is to stay in my strength and hire my weaknesses. I'm not called to wash no clothes. I'm not called to sweep and mop no floor. I only make up my bed on Sundays because my housekeeper comes Monday through Saturday. And guess what? It's worth it. My peace, my joy, me being able to spend time doing what I do. I don't wash no clothes, okay? I don't wash no dishes, okay? I'm not mopping and sweeping no floor. But see, some of y'all would never, ever think I'm going to have a housekeeper. When I was broke, I said I was going to make enough money one day to have a housekeeper. And that became my driving force. When I hired, guys, my housekeeper, I live in an Airbnb, y'all. This is not even my house. This is not my house. My housekeeper is cleaning at the Airbnb. And let me tell y'all why. Because I already know when I go into my house, I want to live like a queen. I don't want her to get acclimated with my clothes in my house once I move in it. So what did I do? Proper planning prevents a piss poor performance. I hired her before I got back. I'm getting back into my house. So when I get back into my house, everything is going to be aligned. My driver, when I get back into my house, guess what? I'm going to have my whole crew. And all I got to do is do what I do best, which is continue growing, continue elevating, and continue making the money that I could afford all these people, okay? And that's what y'all got to think about. One day, you too will have a housekeeper. If you want it bad enough, one day, too, you'll be able to have a full-time hairstylist if you want it bad enough. One day, you will have a driver if that's what you want. Remember, whatever you want is within your reach. But it's all about who you got to become. It's all about who you got to become. How much is your contribution to humankind? How much are you elevating the world? See, I create economy. You understand? So what do I look like driving? I can't be driving. I'm supposed to be working. If I'm driving, how am I going to be on Instagram Live? If I'm driving, how am I going to be working my business? Because I got to be driving, right? No. So guess what? I have a driver now. And this is how y'all got to start thinking and start thinking this way now. Don't wait till the money comes. Success happens first, y'all. Success happens first, then you get the money. I'm already a billionaire. Time just haven't caught up yet. I'm already living in my $1 billion house. I'm already living in my multi-million-dollar house. I wish y'all think about this for me. Please think about this. I already, in my mind, live in my estate home. That's why I got a housekeeper. She comes 6 days a week. And the only reason she off on Sunday is because Jesus rested on Sunday. She need a day. You understand? But I'm